Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I would recommend Angel Care to anybody. They have really helped me regain my strength.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
I couldn't have survived this without Angels Care.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, as always, Jeff Durall. We are in the Special Collections Room of Forsythe Library on the campus of Fort Hays State University with Archivist at Fort Hays State, Patty Nicholas, as we talk about the Overland Dispatch and the Smoky Hill Trail Association. And first of all, Patty, got to say congratulations on your award of merit from the Smoky Hill Trail Association for organizing and maintaining the Smoky Hill Trail archives, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. First, though, if you would, Patty, tell us about the Special Collections Room. What's here? What's it all about?
Okay. The Special Collections Room has a number of different collections that deal with the university history, that deal with Kansas history. We also have a military history collection that was donated to us by an alumnus, Dr. Cecil Curry. And we have a rare book collection, and we also have the Center for Ethnic Studies, which focuses on the heritage of the Burger German in this area.
So the Special Collections area has some rare book areas. Give us an example, maybe.
One of the rare books that we have is an autobiography by President Richard Nixon, and it has an autograph in it.
Now behind us, speaking of some of the donations that have taken place here at the Special Collections Room, are three sculptures which were donated by the class of 1930.
Yeah.
Tell us about the story behind those, Patty.
These were actually given to Sternberg Museum, probably in the 1930s, and the museum had them over when they were across the street from the library, and then they moved them out to the new place in the Dome, and several years ago they called and asked if I wanted to have these. So I got these statues, and I also have a huge painting of Chief Powderface, which is hanging on the back landing here in the library.
So people can see that, because this Special Collections Room is open to the public.
It is open to the public, but we do have limited hours. We're open from 8 o'clock to 4:30, Monday through Friday.
And you can just come visit if you want to look around,
come
maybe even
visit.
see some of the materials.
Yeah, you can walk in, or you can give me a call or email, and I'm always happy to help people with their questions.
And you can look at some of the collections here in the library?
Yeah.
Are they available, some of them for checkout?
Some of the materials in the Western collection I do allow to be checked out. The rest of them, no.
You don't have to be a Fort Hays student to check out materials, or do you?
No, you can have a community card.
Okay.
You can check them out.
So if you're a member of the Hays Public Library, for example, that would work?
No, the Forsythe Library offers a community card.
Oh, okay.
You can come in and get one for $25.
All right.
And then that will last you. You know, it's not one of those things that's renewable.
Okay, so it's a permanent card then, and you can check out materials from the main library or Special Collections Room if those are available for checkout.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to the Smoky Hill Trail Association. You won the Award of Merit for organizing and maintaining the archives. Well, this project began in 2012. Kind of explain to us the collections process, how you went about it, Patty.
We were given material by different members of the association. Mainly the board members, I think, were the ones that gave most most of the material. They include the items such as minutes of the meeting, conference materials, newsletters, things like that. And so what I do is when I get those, I just process them into files and make them available for people to view. And then I create a finding aid so that it's easy to see what we have.
So basically, you're the organizer of the materials that have been donated then.
Yeah.
Smoky Hill Trail Association, talk a little about it. This a local group, Patty?
It's more of a regional group. It was founded in 2007 with the express purpose of giving the trail national status, much like they did with the Santa Fe Trail a number of years ago. It's almost 10 years later, we're still working on that. I don't know, it has to go through Congress to get that done for the national trail status. So we are still working on that. And the other thing I think is to just provide information about the trail to people that live in this area. I did a presentation last month here in the library on the trail, and one of the people that attended came up to me and said he didn't even know anything about the trail in Colorado. So that's one of the main purposes, is that we want to get information out about the trail.
And maybe promote it some.
Yes.
All right, give us the story, would you, of the Smoky Hill Trail.
Okay. In 1858, gold was discovered in Cherry Creek, which is at the base of the Rocky Mountain. And at that time, of course, it was part of the Kansas Territory. And gold seekers wanted to find the fastest way to get to the Cherry Creek, and they used an old Indian trail that was to the north of the Smoky Hill River. And there were also cut-off routes from both the Oregon and the Santa Fe trails, but the Smoky Hill Trail was the fastest and most direct route.
Where did it originate?
It originated in Leavenworth and went through Abilene, Ellsworth, Hayes, Wallace County, Old Cheyenne Wells in Colorado, and that's where the headwaters of the river began. And then from there, it branched out into 3 different trails in Colorado. It was the North Trail, the South Trail, and the Middle Trail.
Goodness, it covered a large part of Kansas, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And this was used by people who wanted to get to the gold fields in Colorado then?
Yeah.
Well, now, part of this was the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. How did that play into the overall trail?
Well, David Butterfield, who was born in Maine, was intrigued by the West, and he moved his family to Kansas and then to Denver in 1862 after the Civil War broke out. He wanted to operate a stage and freight line from the Missouri River to Denver, and so he moved his family to Atchison in 1864. And he wanted to use much of the same route as the earlier Smoky Hill Trail, but he wanted the road to be shorter and safer, and he commissioned a survey of the route in 1865. And it was after that survey that the road began to be used by stagecoaches and freight coaches as well.
But previous, it was mainly a walking or a horse trail.
Previously, yeah.
Before David actually turned it into an area that was used by passengers on the stagecoach, as well as freight being hauled.
Yeah.
And from there then, did it develop further? How long was it in play?
The trail developed into Colorado and followed much of the same trail, except it eliminated the Middle Branch Trail in Colorado because of the lack of water. And so today, the trail in Colorado the North Trail follows much of I-70. The South Trail goes down to what is currently Kiowa, and then go kind of back up toward Castle Rock and Parker.
And in the 1850s and 60s, how long was the trail actually viable as a route?
Okay. Before I get to that, along the trail, we had Indian trouble. The Indians were pretty upset that they were losing their hunting ground. So they started hunting the white men, so to speak, and hit stagecoaches, and that's when the fort started coming up. Fort Hays was established. Well, before that, Fort Fletcher was established, and then it became Fort Hays, Fort Wallace, and then, of course, to the east there was Fort Harker near Ellsworth.
Created basically to protect passengers and freight shipments that
Exactly.
were going through the
Yeah.
Smoky Hill Trail.
Yeah. At the same time, the railroad was starting to be built. And so as the railroad was built, and the Union Pacific, which later became the Kansas Pacific, was building kind of along the same route as the Smoky Hill Trail. And so as it went further west, the stage stations that were along the Smoky Hill Trail closed once the railroad got to that spot. Once the railroad got to Denver, which was in, let's see if I can find it, in 1870, that's when the Butterfield Overland dispatch ceased.
Because the railroad basically took all their business.
Yeah.
Well, now, the Smoky Hill Trail is part of the Overland Smoky Hill Trail Association. They publish a newsletter quarterly, you said, a newsletter that's several pages long, and Smoky Hill Trail Association actually solicits membership, right?
Yes, we do.
Talk about that.
Okay. We have a number of different memberships available. Get the papers here. The yearly fees range from $10 to $100. The categories include student, individual, family, institution, business, patron, and lifetime. And we have a website that is currently being updated, so you can find the membership information on the website.
Okay. The editor of the newsletter is Ann Liston from Hayes. President of the association now is Elton Bucher. Vice president is Kay Homewood. And there's an event coming up in Atchison, which was actually home base, I guess, for the Butterfield Dispatch.
Yeah.
That's coming up later on this year, isn't it?
That's coming up in October. It's an annual conference. The first annual conference began in Hayes. And we have our annual conferences in cities that are along the trail. And this is the first visit to Atchison for the conference. And it's pretty fitting since this is the 150th anniversary of the Butterfield Overland Dispatch.
And what about membership, numbers of people in the membership of the association?
I couldn't really tell you for sure. I think we have between 200 and 300.
And people are welcome to join. Anybody
People
can
are
join.
welcome to join if you have an interest in history, or even if you don't have an interest in history but you want to help keep the trail alive. The membership is available for anyone.
There has been some work on markers too, developing, refurbishing the markers and such along the trail.
Back in the 1950s, there was a gentleman named Howard Rainsfield who did a lot of research and put up markers along the trail that marked every stage station. And the markers were made of limestone posts and cement block. And some of those, of course, are getting worn out or they're broken. And so the association is working on getting some of those replaced.
For further information on the Smoky Hill Trails Association, you can check in at the Special Collections Room Archives are available for the public for you to see in the Special Collections Room on the main floor of the library from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you can check in with the archivist of the Smoky Hill Trail Association. She's got all the information here, believe me. Patty Nicholas, and congratulations again on your award, Patty.
Thank you, Mike.
Patty Nicholas from the Special Collections Archives of Forsythe Library on the campus of Fort Hays State University, our community connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hays and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
There's not any words to describe their kindness.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
They saved my life.